and welcome to the Harborview. I'm Joe Collymore. In response to a growing number of reports about the presence of coyotes in Hingham neighborhoods, town officials are taking steps to address what some residents say has become a crisis. Animal Control Officer Leslie Badger is working with schools, neighborhood groups, and individual families to schedule educational sessions about coyotes and has been involved with coming up with an action plan for Foster School to deal with coyotes that live in the woods surrounding the school. Coyote mating season was earlier this year, so young pups are around as well as adult coyotes. The increasing amount of development also plays a role. Town officials have discussed possible solutions and have also contacted state agencies asking for information about pre-existing wildlife studies. And the environmental police are requesting a meeting with Hingham officials. Quote, "At that time, among other discussion topics, we plan to evaluate existing legislation and the pros and cons of any potential legislation addressing this issue," according to Assistant Town Administrator Michelle Monsegur. There are specific laws relating to trapping and also to shooting coyotes in the most extreme situations, thereby tying the hands of local animal control officers and how they're able to handle the overall situation and individual incidents. Additional information about coyotes and an online coyote sighting form are posted on the Hingham Police Department's website. Do not call 911 or the police station business line to report seeing a coyote unless there is an emergency or immediate threat to humans. Every year on the 4th of July, the town of Hingham gathers downtown along Main Street to celebrate its nation's patriotism and history. The Hingham 4th of July Parade is a celebration organized by the Hingham 4th of July Parade Committee, who work in collaboration with local organizations and businesses to privately raise funds to put on this spectacle. Starting at the high school, the parade makes its way down Main Street right around 10 a.m. In addition to the many unique floats that businesses and town organizations construct, marching bands as well as various performance artists make an appearance. This year's theme for the parade was directly inspired from Button winner Sophia Kondracki, Celebrate Hingham's Natural Beauty. Hingham High School saw off their most recent graduating seniors on June 1st. The event was well attended, emotional, and inspiring. In addition to some truly memorable speeches from the graduates, the class honored retiring Superintendent Dorothy Gallo, the first 56 graduates receiving diplomas, giving her a rose to symbolize her 56 years with Hingham Public Schools. In all, Hingham High School's 278 graduating seniors stepped onto the field in their red gowns to receive their diploma. Andrew Wahoftig was on the minds of many, a member of the graduating class who died last year from kidney disease. A diploma was given in memoriam to Wahoftig. Graduates wore orange ribbons for kidney disease awareness. It was quite a moving ceremony. Our first guest today is Marianne Blackmur, Executive Director of the Hingham Community Center. Welcome, Marianne.
Hi, Joe. How are you today?
I'm great. It's great to have you here.
So good to be back. I love it here.
So I want to talk about what's been going on with the community center. I want to talk about what's been
going on. So I've been there about 8 months now, and this is my first summer. So we have included some summer programming this year, a program called Wiki Cool for Kids and STEAM learning, and it's ages K to 5. They're half-day programs, 9 to 12. There's one that's coming up in June 24th to 28th. And it's Wiki Cool Med School. And then another one is in August 19th to 23rd, Dino versus Robots. The rocket science is totally sold out. But go to hinghamcommunitycenter.org. You can learn all about it. We also have summer dance programs for K to 5. And then we have preteen fitness girls club with Miss Lauren, teen yoga. We have pirate fencing. I don't know if I talked about that last time I was here.
No, I hadn't heard
That's
about that.
That's a really neat, we have fencing program. Somebody comes in and does a fencing program. We also have so he has half-day clinics. We have Zumba on Monday nights for fitness. Stage Door Studios is running a program So that's great. So we have so many diverse programs. It's very exciting.
You know, talking about summer programming for our children, the research has shown that when children are, so to speak, inactive throughout the course of the summer, there's actually a measurable what's called summer learning loss that takes place. So it's great to hear that the community center has put together, activities that are embedded around the academics, STEM, if you will.
And making it fun.
And making it fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than, we're getting the same material that we got during the school year. So you want to make it fun.
Right, being active. One of the things I would do with my children when they were younger, they didn't even know they were learning, but bring them to the grocery store, have them weigh things, add things up. I mean, that's a way to do it if you can't do a program. But yeah, that's what we have, exciting summer programs. If you have any suggestions, as always, feel free to email me, Marianne@hinghamcommunitycenter.org, because we are a reflection of the community. And so we're just working on it.
Let's talk about the courtyard. Last time we met and talked, I believe you were in the process of sort of sketching out your vision for the courtyard. Where are you today?
I want to just clarify that a little bit. Okay. So it is the courtyard. So the first step is providing access from the ballroom when you come in to the backyard. We do have 2 access doors, but they're not very convenient. So I'm excited to say that the Hingham Historic Commission awarded us a grant to do this, to fund this project, which I'm extremely grateful for. It's a great partnership, I think, that we have now, and we're collaborating. They are supporting us in our, wanting to increase the accessibility to the building, as well as provide extra space. So it's a really unique outdoor space. So you go through the front door, through the ballroom, into the courtyard. It does need landscaping. So we'll be sending out, or if anybody has any ideas, for donations for supplies, services, donations to make it happen. But we're thinking hardscape as well as softscape. The Wampatuck Club actually had a croquet court back there, so that'd be kind of fun. But it would give a better, bigger space, outdoor space, right in downtown Hingham. And it's really unique because it is like a little courtyard. There's a big tree in the yard. So we're really looking at it as a unique space for events, meetings. People can have outdoor meetings, some children's programs, some adults programs. You can do outdoor yoga there. So we're just really excited about it. So that's going to happen because it also includes refinishing the floor, and we're so booked, which is great. It's kind of like a lot of moving parts. So in order to close it down, we're closed down the week between Christmas and New Year's, and we're actually closed down the week of July 4th to give the building a break and to do some maintenance. So Peter Bickford is a well-known builder with this historic projects. He's going to be doing the project for us. So we still have to do all the building and things like that, go through the building department and permits, but as you could tell, I'm really excited.
Yes, I can tell. You've also had some open houses recently, haven't you?
Yes. So
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So our open houses, we really just want people to know what's going on at the community center. So you're always welcome to come in and see what's going on. But we have a new, we had an open house last year during the house tour, but people didn't really know what was going on or not really sure. So I hope that in these last 8 months that people are now like, lots going on at the community center. We want to check it out. So either going to the website or coming to the center and seeing how cool it is, because it is a 300-year-old building. We have that awesome mural in the front room, but just to see the space and to see what we're doing. So we're having an open house August 29th. It's a Thursday night where you can meet the instructors and the teachers and really get to know people and talk about what's going on. This summer, we'll also be having we don't have anything scheduled because so many people go away in the summer, but a lot of people don't. So we're thinking maybe some family movie nights. Have to kind of figure out the copyright issues with that, but just fun things like that. So again, if people have any ideas, just feel free, because we have that lovely ballroom that's air conditioned, so you can show a movie without the bugs.
That lovely ballroom that you have, and I think I may have shared with you, it was a few summers ago when I had used that ballroom, rented that ballroom for a family and friends music concert that featured my son and nephew, who are both now professional musicians. And of course, my son has graduated from college and off and doing his thing, and my nephew is now going to be a senior at Temple University. But with any luck, maybe we can get them back
It's
before
fabulous.
the summer's done. Absolutely, the
And
acoustics
that's what we
is
want
great
it to
there.
be, like wonderful family memories. It's
Yes.
a great affordable space in downtown Hingham, historic building.
Yeah.
And it's great to have a place to have people make memories, intergenerational. It's just, I'm so excited to be a part of this and offer it to the community.
So what else you got going on at the community center you want to talk
Well,
about?
let's see. Let me see. What else do I have here? There's so much going on. So we are developing community partnerships. So I do want to talk about this one thing that happened. So we had our dance recital, end of year dance recital, and it was scheduled for Hingham High on May 18th. Well, May 17th, Hingham High had a fire.
Oh, that's right.
So we were not able to use the auditorium, and they were great about communicating. They were good about it. But I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So I went to the town hall right away. They were very accommodating. Sanborn Auditorium didn't really work out for us because of the space, but they were extraordinarily accommodating, helpful. So I made a call to Derby Academy. And Phil, I can't remember his last name or pronounce it, so I'm sorry, Phil, but he's the CFO. Couldn't have been nicer. So Derby Academy stepped up, let us use the space. They were very generous with their time, their resources, and that was a great, unexpected partnership. And people loved it. And could not have been nicer to just step up and help us out. And that is what community is about.
You know, it's interesting. That's some of the best partnerships come about serendipitously,
Yes.
so to speak. And here's a good example of that.
Yeah, so they were great. So we're on the house tour this year, Hingham Historical Society house tour, which is great. Deirdre Anderson's doing amazing things there. And we're going to be the place where they pick up their lunches. They're going to do boxed lunches. So I offered Derby Academy a kiosk during the Hingham house tour because why not? So those are the things that we really want to work with people in the community because we have this resource. So we'll be rolling out our fundraising campaign. I talked about this a little bit before. We're going to be doing a brick campaign for the front steps and the community kitchen. I keep bringing this up, but we are really going to be pushing for corporate sponsorships, individual sponsorships, because it's important that we have the support of the community. So be on the lookout for that, and a new website, hopefully, which will be a little more user-friendly. I don't want to say that's it, but there's a lot. It's always changing. It is a reflection of the community. It's a little difficult to answer what we do in 2 sentences.
I would say you do it all. You do it all.
Yeah, we are. Well, our tagline is your neighborhood gathering place.
Indeed.
Something for everyone.
That's right.
Yeah. So go to the website, www.hinghamcommunitycenter.org. Feel free to email me, Maryann at hinghamcommunitycenter.org. It's Maryann. And we are open to all possibilities.
Maryann, I want to thank you very much for coming out and visiting with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And happy summer.
Thank you. You too. It's glorious, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
We've actually had a very nice spring.
We have, although it feels like it was shortened somewhat by the rains, but that's hopefully now behind us.
True. Well, thank you so much, Joe.
All right. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Our next guest is George Ford, a performer and participant in Hingham's 4th of July parade. Welcome, George.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
I'm great to have you here. Now, tell me, how did you get started in the 4th of July parade?
When I was growing up, Hingham didn't have a parade in World War II. But starting in the late 40s and continuing on, the 4th of July parade was led by a townsman known as Franny Wright, tall, stately, patrician fellow, and he led the parade. And I was always of the opinion at the time that this was an honor accorded to a senior citizen who had done civic activity in the town. And I always said to myself, that is what I aspire to. So then, fast forward, I think it was 1972, I was completing my terms as chairman of the advisory committee in town. And the selectman asked me, well, George, what next would you like to do? I said, be Uncle Sam in the parade. cut down because they said you have to have gray hair and be a grandfather. So they asked me to become the lawyer for the town, counsel for the town, which I did for a couple of decades. But then we go along. Franny Wright retired, George Elah took over, and then my predecessor, Alden Carpenter, a doctor in town, had it, and he did a wonderful job with it. But I knew at some point he was going to sit back and take it easy. So I just waited my turn. Obviously, I had gray hair. Obviously, I was a grandfather. So then, 12 years ago, this would be my 12th year doing it, Alden Carpenter decided that he was going to step back. And I talked to him at the time, and I said, well, it's about time, Alden, because 2 years prior to that, he had a bad back. And I didn't know what was going to be happening, but there he was marching in the parade. Well, it turned out to be his twin brother from Connecticut that he imported for it. And I said, Alden, it's time for me to take over. And he said, yes, indeed. And I did. And I think it was 2008. So my interest in the parade has always been that I consider it to be an honor accorded to an elder citizen, if you would, to lead the Town of Hingham Parade.
Now, in addition to leading the parade, what else is involved as you go down the parade route? What other things are you doing in playing that role?
Prior to doing any of that, one of the side requirements of being Uncle Sam is that I acquire all of the performers through the year. I contract with the performers. I contact them. I email them. I set up the contracts and get the performers coming in. So that's my duty for having to assuage my desire to lead Uncle Sam. But you mention a role. I guess it is a role, but I don't view it that way. I view it as quite an honor just to lead the parade, because when Uncle Sam comes down, people they've been socializing, they come to attention in effect, because here is what represents America, the epitome, Uncle Sam leading our parade on Independence Day. So what I do is just lead the parade. I don't do anything else going along. I certainly talk to people, point out to them how much it's great to be, happy 4th of July. I particularly enjoy chatting with the young folks coming along. It's a great opportunity. They think I might know something, even though others don't, and they shake hands with me. And you have a number of disabled folks along the way, which I always make a point to go and chat with. It's just a grand experience for me. So.
The parade, which is a central part of Hingham's history. What are your thoughts about the significance this parade plays in communities like ourselves?
Well, there is no doubt. You talk to anyone who has lived in Hingham for 100 years, only a few of those left around, or 2 years, 4th of July is Hingham's time. And the parade is the essence of the 4th of July. You get people out socializing, they follow the parade, and what it does is represent what I call the good old American spirit. It's a small town parade, but yet we have some very nice performers in there, and we try to make it very enjoyable for all hands. But the parade to Hingham is the essence of the town. Other towns have things going on that make that particular town, but if you took a survey of all of the old Hinghamites, they'll say the parade in Hingham and the 4th of July as a whole is the essence of the year in Hingham. The parade has been around for a number of years. It's gone through evolutions. I think, according to what I was able to determine, the first real parade we had started in 1898. And it used to go from downtown at the corner of Main, North, and South Streets, a place called Broad Bridge is what the name of it was. And it'd go down North Street, West Street, come back up, and walk up and end up at the Common. And various years they'd have the parade, various years they wouldn't. But that kind of continued sporadically. I think the first Uncle Sam that appeared in the parade was a fellow by the name of Henry Huff in 1933 or 34. But then they didn't have it again until Franny Wright took it over in 1946 after the war. And he was the classic Uncle Sam, tall, stately, as I've said, and he led the parade. But the parade has gone through also evolutions. It used to start down at Station Street and go up Pear Tree Hill to the high school. Well, that got to be rather arduous for the performers, sure. And they reversed it in the, I think, late 70s to start at the high school and end up down at Station Street.
You know, one of the most impressive visions of the Hingham Parade is, of course, Uncle Sam leading the parade down the street, and you've got the red, white, and blue center line running down. One of the very few communities in this country that have that established. Tell me more about that.
Well, that red, white, and blue exists in Bristol, Connecticut, which has the oldest 4th of July parade in the country. And when I was in the Navy, interestingly enough, we came up to Fall River at 4th of July, and I led our color guard walking down the Bristol parade, the red, white, and blue markings. We didn't have it in town. Our present clerk, Eileen McCracken, her husband happened, I was talking to him one time, and he was pointing out that Peabody has red, white, and blue. So he, Mr. McCracken, and a couple of others at the time went to the selectmen and the DPW, Highway Department at the time, and said, we ought to have this in town. And we negotiated with it, and finally they agreed with us. And we put it down. It goes down Middle Street, down Main Street, but we had to negotiate and compromise with the safety committee because they said, if you take away the double light or double yellow line, you're going to have some issues. And Ford, you represented the town, you know this could be legal issues. And we said, okay, so if you follow it now, the red, white, and blue goes down to just about where Water Street is, and then it becomes double yellow for a while. Then it goes back to red, white, and blue. I
was wondering about that.
Well, that was the compromise.
Ha.
You know, I've often thought we should go back to the selectmen. Things have changed, and try to get it all the way through. But each year it is redone, repaved, or repainted, and it looks great.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Wow. So what are you looking forward to this year's parade?
Well, we've obtained a number of new performers this year. We have 3 new fife and drum bands or units. We have a Marashi, a Mexican group.
That's an interesting contrast
that
between
is
the
indeed.
two, huh?
I thought that at the time when I was talking to the agent, that I thought it'd be a good thing to kind of have a different approach to things. But the parade, what to me is the beauty of the parade, it's the same old, but yet it is enjoyable. It's like going back to the, if you had a favorite doll or something as a child growing up as a young lady, it'd be your favorite doll. In the parade, you anticipate the same thing. You get marching units. The parade has become more of a mechanized parade now with everybody on floats, but we still have the walkers. Back in the 60s and even into the 70s, we had many more neighborhood floats being put into it. But that has kind of gone by the wayside because that's an awful lot of work. And if weather impacts it, you've lost the beauty of it. So we've gotten fewer and fewer floats, but a number of them are now mechanized. They're riding on the back of trucks. But the one thing that this year will be for me is that the costume I have has been passed down from Uncle Sam to Uncle Sam. You have to be about 6 feet tall, 170, 75 pounds to fit into the things. And that has been passed down to me. The hat, I don't know what size hat it is, but it seems to fit. The lore is it dates back to the latter part of the 19th century. That's how long it's been around. I don't know, but every year I block it after the parade. I put it in wood blocks. But I always have a problem with shoes. The white shoes I wear are now 59 years old. They were the shoes that I received when I was commissioned as an ensign in the Navy in 1960. That was part of my uniform. And I've kept those, and I wear them each year. They're kind of crinkly, falling apart, but I have a good friend who does them up with polish each year. So I'm hoping that they will last again this year. But the problem with the parade always is, unless one is going to grow a beard like Bob Beal, who is the Santa Claus at the Christmas in the Square, which I can't do, won't do, you paste it on or you glue it on, and you just hope it stays there. Because if it's a hot day and you have perspiration, it can be an issue. So as I walk the parade route, I'm holding on most of the time and waving with the other hand.
I was going to ask you if, as you're walking the parade and you go up to greet the bystanders, do any of the young children grab at your beard like they do?
They have
Uncle?
in the past. Yeah. They have in the past, and fortunately, it's held.
Okay.
It's held.
Fingers crossed it holds up again this year. Tell me about your shirt. That's a fantastic shirt.
I wore this because I knew we were doing this presentation today. This is a shirt that my wife obtained for me before I became Uncle Sam.
Really?
And just to have around the 4th of July, because you see these kind of shirts around. But if you look back through some of the old Hingham journals and things, when I took over this role from Alden Carpenter, I had this shirt on, and it worked out well. But this is just a 4th of July Hingham shirt. Comes out once a year, probably this year twice a year because I'm doing this now. But that's what it is. It's just.
I have a shirt that I also wear around the 4th of July. It's basically a facsimile of the U.S. Constitution around the shirt with the stars and stripes with it. And people often ask, where'd you get that shirt? Where'd you get your shirt? And I can't remember where I got it because I've had it for so many years, Picked it up in some side road store somewhere. And
you bring it out each year,
That's
you
right.
wear it, you put it away.
Put it away and stays in pretty good shape and away from the moths, and here we go.
That's right.
My goodness, George, listen, I just want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us, getting us excited about the upcoming 4th of July parade. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, visiting with you.
All right. Well, I look forward to it also, because it's always a nice thing for me, because now it's the 12th year, so people remember that I am Uncle Sam. So if I'm down in the fruit center, or I'm here or there, going to the bank, you're down at the Hingham Institution, they'll say, Uncle Sam, what are you doing? You're getting ready for it, and I am.
So who's waiting in the wings to succeed you in the coming decade away?
Well, I have heard that there's a retired doctor in town, Jim Dolphin. I don't know. It was always said that his son wants to take it over, and I don't know. But in answer to your question, I hope there's not anyone in the wings for about the next 8 years, because I think I'd like to do 20 years of it.
There you go.
Okay.
Great attitude.
That's good.
Thanks, George.
You're very welcome. Good
Look forward to seeing you on the 4th.
Thank you.